The first Descendant just got some major news regarding patch 1.04. We have to go over all the details with that, including some of the new information. We have some brand new additional character builders, as well as feature-rich helpers, even a new database to go over, as well as some additional outcries from the community, and some additional things there with that. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? This is Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the first Descendant. Okay, so let's just jump into it. What's going on with patch 1.04? Now, this wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to receive an update until August. However, we're having an emergency update planned. This is due to a couple factors, but we have a director's comment here about this. So this goes over exactly what's going on. Jumping over to the dev talk and the announcement here, the director of the first Descendant, Niseo Joe, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I'm really sorry about that, went on to say here that they want to share the dev's opinion regarding a recent issue called the Volby Run. Now, the Volby Run is a strategic outpost farming using Volby, and is currently taking place at the outpost within the fortress. This was not intended, they said, and due to their systematic mistake, mobs at the fortress outpost have been respawning infinitely. As a result, the items that have dropped from this have increased 2 to 3 times more than normal in other popular locations. They went on to say here, to maintain the game, they do believe that it is wrong to just look on and leave the unbalanced content, which is providing biased rewards compared to everything else. However, they also see that the Volby Run has become popular very quickly within the community, and they assume many players have researched Volby to enjoy the newly discovered content. The current issue has occurred clearly by their own mistake, and they do not wish to suddenly remove that, because it already became a solid content of TFD. So I'd like to inform you that they're preparing a patch without completely blocking the Fortress Outpost issue, and to keep allowing players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, they will update other farming locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the Fortress Outpost. Although they've insisted that no additional patch will be necessary next week, they are now planning an emergency hotfix patch 1.04, which is prioritized to apply improvements so that they could finalize the week 5 development schedule. And the main purpose for 1.04 is to reduce the cooldown time for strategic outposts, as well as rebalance the location for collecting void fragments. They're also planning to diversify methods for gold supply by enhancing the gold efficiency within special operations. So we're getting a threefold right there. They also went on here to say that as they continue the live service for the first Descendant, they have no plan to respond by simply nerfing certain content, but want to allow any gameplay which collides with other intentions. They respect every content created by our players and will do their best to create a game that all players can enjoy for a long time. They do appreciate the endless feedback and interest in the game. They had one last clarification, but it was added in after the fact. The message has now been updated with that, with a last minute mention while here saying that they're preparing 1.04 patch to make efficiency or farming efficiency of Fortress Outpost similar to the other popular sites. This is super good to hear. This is honestly the best response I've ever heard from a developer regarding farming stuff. I'm really happy to hear they're not just straight up nerfing stuff. It's honestly really refreshing to see a developer act this way when they come across farming and other methods. I'm also super glad to hear that they finally heard the community's outcry with the strategic outposts. Those have just been really rough with the 5-minute cooldowns, and also the void fragment farming, and just in general, this has been such a good response from the dev team. We had a post here with this just absolutely wild take that I wanted to go over. Now, this wasn't in regards to anything, but this person said content creators have had a negative effect on public play, which I think this is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, this post isn't about some of the nerf stuff or any of the farming guides, but it's about build stuff in general, but it's essentially kind of the same here. Content creators are the reason why this stuff gets pushed out and put in forefront of the developers' eyes, as well as a lot of this stuff making it to the headlines with them and the developers actually responding this way, and making it so things like the strategic outpost and people's outcries are actually heard. If it wasn't for content creators, you would have none of this. They don't always look at Reddit, they don't always look at social media. They need the push there from several content creators who actually do support their game, and a lot of times they are the backbone of the game's support, and as well as the support structure in the game's popularity. So the fact that this post is just here, this is kind of insane to me. Again, I get this is like a double-edged sword here, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. The reason we're getting such good content here and good content pushes, as well as things getting fixed so fast, is because of content creators. Again, I just feel like I had to call this post out because it's just absolutely ridiculous to have this take. And even if I wasn't doing YouTube, even if I wasn't a content creator myself, or whatever you want to call it, I still would have the same take here because this is absolutely ridiculous to say that. There would be a meta formed no matter what, regardless of people making YouTube content. Speaking of build guides and build information, as well as just a plethora of new things, we have another brand new website with a builder module, farming assistant, weapons, and even Descendant information. This is an absolutely massive massive one. This has been in development for quite a long time here. We've had several websites go in and out of here and trying to get the information out. However, this one really does have everything together and is just absolutely insane. It is super feature rich with tools, and the build planner couldn't be any better. I'm honestly going to be using this one from now on, so if you did want to check it out, I'm going to include a link to it down below. I believe multiple people worked on this website, but this was done by Luke JV. Shout out to him and his team. Speaking of some of the content grinds as well as modules here, we also had this post blow up saying anyone else think it's too hard to get these for how important they are for endgame, which are the energy activator blueprints. Again, the devs have heard our cries with the outposts as well as just farming in general. These should not be that hard to get, especially because you can just pay to win them. Them being $25 is just absolutely insane that you have to farm for so long when you could just pay the money and get these automatically. It is a little bit ridiculous. I really do hope they kind of nerf some of these farms, as being able to pay for it really does more than push you toward it. It's kind of just essential. You're better off going to farm IRL money and literally being able to pay for this within an hour or two, rather than spending the 10, 20 to 30 plus hours for some of these farms. So just absolutely ridiculous there. I really do hope they either adjust the prices of these or essentially adjust the farms. Should make a ton of more sense. A little bit ridiculous there with this one, so I hope they kind of nerf that and at least allow players to farm this out a little bit sooner and fast. We also have another post here talking about the most useless shop in game, and yeah, the bonus preseason shop is pretty ridiculous. Seeing as we can farm these materials out really fast, they should have some 3-day boosts here or other things, as well as what other comments said. They need to increase the amount 10x or put some stuff here that just actually would make sense and not just have it with these items that are already really easy to farm out, and you basically get these from just passively farming anyways. Hopefully they do something next season with the preseason bonus shop. Again, a lot of this feedback will hopefully go to improve in fixing the game. Someone did say here, talking about some of the money concerns as well as the pay to win, they said they have a sneaking suspicion that this game has made a lot of money. And yeah, currently in the US it is ranked number 3 top seller on Steam. In the EU right now it is ranked number 1. So clearly their methods are working. I still hope they tie down some of the stuff or bring back some of the stuff, as the current farm stuff as well as just some of the things that are just really hard to get. I don't mind if they sell skins like this. This is perfectly fine, but at least bring back some of the farm stuff so that we can actually farm properly and not have to do 20-hour grinds for something that you could just pay 10 to 20 bucks for. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense there, so hopefully they do kind of adjust that balance. We also had one last minute mentionable here, talking about the multi-talented modules. Essentially they are super OP. If you aren't using those right now, you definitely should be. Like this one, lightning emission is hitting for 1.5 to 1.6 million damage range instead of 1.2 and 1.3. You're getting an increase of 30% damage increase every 5 seconds, and it's an insane burst window. Volby gets a minus 20% CD reduction, and Lepik, Freyna, Viesa also get a 15% more tech power from alt spamming. The mod is absolutely insane, so you should definitely be focusing on this stuff here. Overall, that should about cover for today's video. Like, subscribe, and to the next one. Deuce.